Welcome to today's conscious conversation. Today, I want to talk about letting go and what that means. We have read it, heard it, had people say it to us, so just let go, let it go. We've all heard the song sang on a cartoon, let it go. What does it mean though? Of what? Of what? And how does that help me? What do I let go of? What I've learned in conscious practice is it's the most powerful letting go is the letting go of the have to have. The have to haves in your life. Those are the things that the voice in your head, or the ego voice, clings on to for dear life. The have to haves are the things that it builds its identity out of. The things in life that it uses to strengthen its identity in some way. And when you step into pure consciousness, conscious awareness, the more you let go of the have to haves, the freer you become, the freer you are over the power this ego voice has over you. You become free. Because if you no longer have to have a certain thing, the more irrelevant that becomes, the more you realize how irrelevant that is to what you are. The less power the ego voice has over you. It doesn't matter. It can't cause you with fear. It can't push you with fear, with urges, with anything. It can't use anything to push you in the direction of chasing that thing, of needing that thing, of wanting that thing, of having to have that thing, because you have let go of that have to have. So think of a have to have that you may still be clinging to. These things create so much suffering, so much. If we hold on to them, if we refuse to let them go, we're still identifying with the ego voice. And we're not allowing ourselves to experience what we are as pure consciousness. Because this thing or this situation is still holding way too much importance. It's still a big deal. It's still super important. But I can hear the ego voice fighting this, what I'm saying. What? You want me to just allow any old thing? You want me to just accept anything? You want me to lower my standards? You want me to just allow anything? You want me to let go of how my preferences and how I like? Yeah, I do. Because it's not your standards. It's not the things that are important to you as consciousness. The importance is from the ego. The ego voice says it's important. It's important to that ego voice because it needs that thing to support its fake identity that it's building, to give it energy so that it can have power over your choices and actions and behaviors and your emotional state. It has to have all those things because it brings it a certain feeling, a certain emotion. And it has to have it. And if you say, yes, if you agree with it, yes, I have to have that thing, which you can. You don't have to choose to let it go. You don't have to let it go. But if you choose to agree, yes, I have to have that, then you're going to stay under the power and control of the drama king or queen, of the ego voice in your head. That thing is going to have power over you. And if that's the experience you choose, to suffer more, it's okay. But if you're ready for that thing to not have power over you, then yes, all those things that the ego voice says that it has to have. No, it has to be this way. I have to have this. I'll die if I don't have it. Well, it's telling you the truth. Yes, it will die if it doesn't have it. And that's what you're here to do. You're here to have experience after experience after experience, to show you exactly what you're still clinging to, what you still, your places you are still egoic, places you are still connected to that ego, agreeing with that ego, supporting that ego, every experience in life. The ego says, no, this is just my life, and this is situations that happen in my life and happen to me. No, it's not about the life experience itself or the ego building a life for itself. It's not about that. Every experience life brings to you with your assistance. You're assisting it whether you know it or not. Is to show you those things, those places where fear still controls you, where fear still dominates, and to allow you yet another opportunity to rise above that, to step out of that, to remember how silly and ridiculous that is, and how irrelevant that is to what you are. Just another opportunity to wake up, another opportunity to remember, another opportunity to understand you are a what and not a who. That's what those situations happen for you. Against the ego, yes. If the ego decides it doesn't like that situation, that was a bad situation, doesn't like something about it, then it happens for you, for your consciousness, as a chance to reclaim that power, all that energy that's been stored and held on to, stored as fear by the ego voice. It's your chance to stand calmly, doing nothing. Do nothing it says. Stand calmly and watch it retrieve the energy. It doesn't feel good. It's uncomfortable as you're doing it. But that's what you're here to do. That's what you're here to learn how to do. Let the ego voice scream and rant and rave and be angry and upset and fight and resist and struggle, and let it do that by itself. Let it squirm by itself. And if you no longer have to have whatever it's saying you have to have, you can just stand there calmly watching it release all of that power back to you through its anger, through its fear, through its rage, through its sadness, through its depression, through its whatever form it takes. It's energy. Brought to you by this life situation that the ego voice absolutely hates because it goes against something that it has to have. And when you no longer have to have whatever it's saying, you're now standing in a different space. You're not standing right beside it, being its puppet anymore. You're standing in a different space of power, of consciousness, of choice. I don't have to have that thing. It's irrelevant to what I am. Pure consciousness doesn't have to have anything from life, from this life experience. There is nothing that it clings to, that it demands, that it needs, that it wants. It's just watching. The life experience that it is witnessing in this moment is irrelevant to what it is. It's just a show. It's just an entertainment. It's just a play to watch. It is complete. It is whole. It is untouchable. It's always the same. Nothing can be added or taken away from it. But to the ego voice, the small little thing that tries to be the big thing and tries to make everything about life a big deal, so important. It's just a little bitty thing screaming at you from inside your head, trying to convince you that this is what you are. And this is not what you are. This is not who you are. What you are is this massive, complete energy of unconditional love, just watching life, having an experience of life. You decided to not just watch it from a distance. You wanted to get up in the middle of it. You wanted to get into a form of a body so that it seemed even more real. It seemed even more. You could experience even more. And you could see where fear is still attached. And you could get that fear off of you. You're here to shake that fear off, to shake that fear loose that has somehow clung on to you, hovering around your pure consciousness. That is untouchable, but just hovering around you. You're here to reclaim that energy, to power up, reclaim it. So when someone says, let go, let it be, I like to say be with all things and let all things be. Let it go. When someone says to you, let it go, now you know. The thing to let go of is the have to have. Find the have to have. Find the thing that you still think you have to have, that the ego voice has convinced you that you have to have, and let that go. And when you do, you reclaim your power and you break free from the control of the ego voice over you, over your actions, over your behaviors. You break free. You're free. You're free. That fear has no power, no pull, no gravity on you. anymore. It can't pull you in, can't suck you in, can't control your actions and behaviors at all. You're free. You don't have to have that. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, it's a nice experience. But do I have to have it? Absolutely not. I don't have to have that. It's irrelevant to what I am. It's so irrelevant. I'm so much bigger than that. What I am is so much bigger than that. Thank you for listening to today's conscious conversation, and I hope you will join me for another one soon.